At 29 years old, Denver resident Joel Hunt's career in the Army is over. He was serving in Germany when the Iraq War started and was shipped off to Iraq for the first of 3 rotations, and during which he says he survived more than 30 roadside bomb attacks. The result of those attacks has left permanent emotional scars and most likely resulted in brain injuries from which he may never recover.
Because this guy was on the side of the road with his hood open. And my commander got out, and he went up there to the guy in the hood, and the guy turned around, and it was like watching a movie. He had a thing, and he exploded himself, and our commander was right behind the Humvee door. And the blood and the guts from this explosion got all over me, all over some people, all over the gun, and nobody got hurt. But, you know, it's hard to explain. You lose your mind out there, you know? You just don't care about anything. And nobody.
During his third tour, Hunt says he and his fellow soldiers began to notice some disturbing and dangerous changes in his behavior.
Because if you asked any of my squad members from when I was at Fort Carson, they would tell you, you know what, Joel's crazy. He needs to be sent home. I don't know. Somebody told me that I was talking to my weapon one time. I don't remember this stuff.
But it wasn't these initial signs of traumatic brain injury, or TBI, that eventually led to his medical discharge from the Army, but rather the less serious problems he's had since a steel I-beam was dropped on his foot. Once he was labeled unfit for duty, an Army Physical Evaluation Board review, which establishes soldiers' level of disability and subsequent retirement benefits, labeled him 10% disabled based solely on his foot injury, and he was medically retired for chronic foot pain. To receive ongoing pension and health benefits from the Army after medical retirement or medical discharge, a soldier has to be determined to be at least 30% disabled.
I never wanted out of the military, you know. At first, I wanted my foot fixed because I had a steel I-beam dropped on it, and that's what they put me out as. I was having trouble with that. I've had like 4 surgeries on it. I never really wanted out of the military.
Hunt said he was pressured into signing off on the review board's decision by his commanding officer, who he's asked not to be named. Hunt says that officer threatened to make his life a living hell if he did not.
I had already got my papers back.
He's talking here about his PEB report, the official decision from his physical examination board.
I told Sergeant Corona that I wanted to wait until my wife comes back, until I talk to her, before I sign these chapter papers. He said, you ain't got no balls, do you? This isn't up to your wife. This is you. You need to quit letting your wife deal with everything. I mean, he insulted me by doing that. And I got scared. Because I was an E4. So what did I do? I went back over there and I signed the papers. And then
the Army won't respond to questions about individual soldiers. But in response to Westword's inquiry about physical examination board proceedings and the allegations that some soldiers were pressured by the commanding officers to sign off on incomplete physical evaluation board reports, Garrison Public Affairs Officer for Fort Carson, D. McNutt, said recently, all soldiers undergoing the medical evaluation board process receive a thorough examination to ensure that all medical and behavioral health issues are documented. Anytime we become aware of something that may have been missed or inadvertently overlooked, we ensure the error is corrected.
I can't drive, because if I drive and get behind the wheel just for 30 seconds, I could kill somebody. Because I've already got in a wreck once. Number 2, I can't remember things. I don't know why you can't remember, but I have no short-time memory. You know, there's a lot of times that I can't even remember the good times that me and my wife have. I can just remember, like, the bad things. My wife tells me something, I have no idea. There's sometimes that I have a headache for no reason. Me and my wife, we're going through big lots, and I get these dizzy spells, just shopping. And I thought after me sitting down and not doing anything, it would fix it. But I could just be sitting here watching TV, and I get that dizzy feeling. I'm like, wow, I'm glad I'm sitting down. I can't even ride my bicycle. This is torture. I hate this. I'm tired of it.
A recent medical evaluation conducted by the Veterans Benefits Administration concluded that Hunt is 100% disabled because of his traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other ailments. All of these conditions were noted on his original Army Physical Evaluation Board review, but nothing other than the foot injury was taken into consideration during the Army's process of determining his level of disability and retirement benefits. Hunt currently has no long-term health insurance through the Army, and every day is a struggle with the frustrations of his injuries and the boredom that comes with his limitations.
It's really hard not doing anything. It gets boring. It's great after 3 weeks, but it gets boring after 3 weeks. It really does. It's a benefit to go pick up dog poop, if that tells you anything. I know it's really weird, but I miss working.
While Hunt is currently working to appeal the Physical Examination Board decision with Denver-based veterans' rights activist Andrew Pagani, who is the subject of the March 20 Westword feature story, The Good Soldier, he says that, beyond the scope of his personal troubles, he hopes to see some systemic changes in the way that the Army deals with soldiers.
One thing that I hope that soldiers do is, number one, they take the test seriously. They don't just go to the SRP site, hurry up and get out. They don't listen to their NCOs about that.
Hunt is talking here about multiple choice tests that are given to soldiers before and after they deploy, which help the Army determine the physical and mental health of each soldier, and that he says many soldiers are pressured by their commanding officers to fill out as quickly as possible and omit information about their mental and physical health that might prevent their deployment.
I hope and I wish that the NCOs would be more conditional with the soldiers, because they gotta think about this. This is long term. Don't let the NCOs scare you